Department of Energy and Climate Change has announced that as part of the drive to reduce the country's carbon emissions, smart meters must be installed in every UK household by 2020. Indeed, the government is proposing to mandate smart meters with real-time display units to monitor gas and electricity usage in all domestic households, SMEs and public sector sites, such as hospital facilities. This will have a huge impact on energy savings within the NHS. In this programme, we speak to British Gas, Trend Control and Schneider Electric, who tell us about their advanced metering innovations and how they can help the NHS to reduce carbon emissions from their sites. Tim Price, Public Sector Manager at the Carbon Trust, explains how advanced and smart metering can help the NHS manage its energy usage.
The Carbon Trust was set up in 2001 by the government, and it was set up as a public good company with the aim of accelerating the move to a low carbon economy in the UK. And we do that both by helping organisations to cut their carbon emissions now and in the near future, but also by investing in the kinds of new technologies that the UK is likely to need over the next 20 to 50 years in order to cut carbon emissions in the future. The Carbon Trust has been working very closely with the NHS since 2006 to help the NHS both to cut costs and cut carbon. We've worked with 82 NHS trusts on our carbon management programme to date, and we're working with another 34 this year, which is the largest number we've ever worked with in 1 year. We also have very close relations with the NHS Sustainable Development Unit and the Department of Health, and we talk a lot to them in terms of how the Carbon Trust can best help the NHS to cost effectively meet this agenda.
British Gas Business is a leading supplier of energy contracts for both gas and electricity and tariffs for gas and electricity to businesses across the whole of the UK. In addition, we supply energy services such as the provision of smart metering for our customers, building controls where we'll install and maintain building controls, and a suite of microgeneration products including solar PV and small scale wind. The NHS is a really important customer to my business, I think on a number of levels. One, it's so energy intensive. They use a tremendous amount of energy 24/7 on site. So it's an area where I really do think we can make a difference in terms of energy savings. And personally, on a personal level, I see that saving money in the NHS means that that money can be spent elsewhere in the hospital, probably for other patient-related services. Smart metering is vital to customers going forwards. Smart metering has a number of benefits. Firstly, it can show you how you're using your energy, which is absolutely vitally important. So you wouldn't drive a car, if you like, without a fuel gauge. In the same way that you wouldn't drive a business without a smart meter, because that will tell you exactly when you're using the energy. It can tell you things like, have I left something on overnight? So why have I left something on a Saturday and Sunday? It can sort of show me trends and different ways that I've used energy. And when I save energy, it can show me how I've positively saved energy on the site. Clearly, the energy industry over many years has been based on estimated readings for bills. And actually what a smart meter can do is give you an accurate reading so that your bill is correct every month going forward, rather than estimates for 3 months and then an accurate bill on the 4th month. So there's two major benefits from smart metering. In terms of case histories, we've rolled out that product in terms of a smart meter with a monitoring and targeting package to literally thousands of sites already, whether it be local authorities or central government or to the NHS as well. So in terms of how it would work for the NHS, if you've got a large hospital, you may have a number of different supply points for that hospital. You may have to have a smart meter fitted to each of those supply points. You may then also decide to monitor individual areas of the hospital which are high energy consumers as well. So you may get us to install, say, sub-metering as well. We'd then bring the communications from all of those meters back to a central point which you could view as the customer, the person who's responsible for energy on site at the hospital. You can then report that into the hospital and say how you're doing in terms of providing that information in a graphical way on dashboards around the hospital. And so what we can do is we can provide you with total energy monitoring. You could also ask British Gas Business to look at that data and actually see how we could optimise the site and actually reduce the consumption by working with the energy assets on site, the data and the building control systems. And that really is the way forward for the NHS and for customers. I think now energy management is a really important discipline that we need to get back to. There's a number of different reasons why you would do it. Firstly, budgets never get bigger, they always get smaller. So if you want to meet your budget within the NHS, you're going to have to save energy, which in turn saves money. So basically, you're saving money and you're ensuring that the NHS and the hospital that you work for meets the budget that's been set. Secondly, I think you can also engage your people in this exercise. You can engage the people on the site to actually get involved in reducing the energy that you use. And that requires some behavioural change. And actually, sometimes behavioural change can be almost the biggest bang for your buck in terms of turning lights off when they're not needed, when it's daylight outside, turning off computers at night, just simple things, not leaving taps running. So save energy. And I think the great thing about doing that is they can take that discipline not only from the workplace, but to home. British Gas Business has a range of products and services that it supplies to business customers. I guess our leading product is the supply of gas and electricity to customers. Other products we supply are things such as the Carbon Reduction Commitment Manager. This is a product where, with customers like the NHS, we can help them with the qualification process for this scheme. This is new legislation for 2010, and I have to say a number of customers, including people we've spoken to in the NHS, are confused about what to do. So we can help them with that. We can help them with the paperwork that's required for that legislation, and we can help them with the journey as well in terms of helping them manage their carbon commitments going forwards. In addition, we can supply smart meters, which are really important at the moment around the carbon reduction commitment as well. And smart metering, we can then provide a graphical interface via the internet to show people exactly how they're consuming energies on, say, one site or in a group of sites, where you can create league tables, you can understand which are the best performing sites, which are the worst performing sites, and that can then lead you to deciding which sites you want us to look at next for you. In addition, we can provide a range of building controls services, whether it be the maintenance of existing control systems to optimise them so that they work at an absolutely sort of the best possible way that they can to maintain the building at the most efficient levels. We can install building controls as well, so there's two more products. In terms of energy audits, clearly once you've got the data, you need experts to come in and actually look at the site. So look at the hospital or look at the sort of health trust that you are running. We can come in and look at that and do an audit of all the energy assets on site and really start to say, this is where you should start the energy journey. This is where you can save the most money, through to things that perhaps aren't quite so attractive, but will still save the customer money. So there's a journey there in terms of the products that we supply. In addition, and then finally, in terms of the journey, you could then go very green and you could look at microgeneration products that we supply. And you could decide as a trust or a hospital to start using photovoltaic cells on your roof to generate electricity. Again, a statement that the site is green and that you're wanting to make a statement that you're ready to reduce consumption on the site as well. So there's a whole range of products that will help the customer from the very start of the journey, and that's understand where I am, to the very end of the journey, which is going very green and bringing in those new and emerging technologies. Well, if you look at the energy management space and some of the services that are provided, you can research that very easily on the internet, and you'll come up with a myriad of companies, very small companies to quite large companies, who provide a range of services. I guess it's really important to pick a company that will stand behind what it says it will deliver, and I believe that if we look at a site as British Gas, if we look at a facility, I think that we could find between, say, 10 and 25% energy savings on those sites, depending on where the customer, where the hospital, where the trust is on the energy journey. So we can provide that sort of guarantee that if we say we'll get 10 to 25% savings, we'll deliver those savings. At the end of the day, for British Gas, brand and our reputation is incredibly important to us. We have 16 million domestic customers and we have over 1 million business customers in the UK. We stand behind what we say we'll deliver, and energy services is part of the market that we intend to grow in and be very big in. So select British Gas and I can guarantee that we'll deliver the services. If you want to know more about the services that we offer, we've branded our energy services business as Energy 360. So you can go on to britishgas.co.uk/business or simply type Energy 360 into the internet, and that will take you to our landing page where you can find out a lot more about the services that we provide and also how to contact us as well.
NHS Online is committed to creating ways for healthcare professionals to maximise the benefits the website can provide to its users. Don't forget to register and take advantage of the NHS staff discounts offered by many high street stores. You can view all participating retailers at nhsonline.net by clicking on the NHS staff discounts link. All you have to do is present your valid NHS staff discount card at the point of sale at any participating retailer to get your exclusive NHS staff discount.
Thank you so much for telling us about the NHS 24/7 discount scheme.
Thank you so much for helping NHS staff. It really means a lot.
You're welcome.
In order to effectively manage energy use, it's really important that organisations, and the NHS is very much included in that, understand how much energy they're using and where they're using it. A good metering system will help an NHS trust both to understand where on their site they're using the most energy, so which departments, which buildings are using the most energy. It'll also help them to get an energy profile. It'll help them to understand when they're using the most energy as well. And that can be a very good way of flagging up energy wastage and of flagging up bits of kit and bits of equipment are being left on when no one's in the building and they don't need to be on.
Trend Control Systems are the leading UK manufacturer of building energy management systems and provider of associated services. Our systems control over 80% of the energy consuming devices within a typical building. Types of buildings you can find our systems in include offices, schools, hospitals, leisure centres, almost any type of non-residential building. Today we have worldwide annual sales of about £70 million, and from our UK base in Horsham, West Sussex, we manufacture and develop our systems, and we're very proud to be the only significant building energy management system manufacturing company manufacturing in the UK. Our systems are installed in many NHS buildings, from some of their largest and most famous hospitals to over 50 lift schemes and numerous healthcare centres. Some of our systems have been in operation for over 20 years and are still going strong. The role of a building energy management system is to maintain safe and comfortable environmental conditions within a building in the most energy efficient way possible. These environmental conditions include room temperatures, humidity levels, air quality levels, and perhaps lighting levels. The system will also measure and incorporate building data, including meter data, and display this to operators and building occupants. The systems are very flexible, and you can find them in all types of buildings, from the National Gallery in London to a Dutch mushroom farm. An example of a specialist application within the NHS is at Moorfields Eye Hospital, where they have a manufacturing unit which has to remain completely sterile, and our system helps maintain the sterile environment by ensuring that air pressure in the sterile area is always slightly higher than the surrounding areas. Other roles of the BEMS within the NHS include monitoring water temperature to avoid the risk of Legionella, complying with building regulations, and raising alarms should there be any problems anywhere. And the system works by taking measurements of the current conditions within the building and outside and comparing these to the desired conditions. We call those the set points. The system then, via a series of clever calculations, works out what adjustments to make to the equipment within a building to achieve the set points. And since the adjustments are typically to switch on or off high energy consuming devices, such as a boiler or a chiller, or to adjust the speed of high energy consuming pumps and fans, you can see how the system has a vital role to play in determining the energy consumption of the building. The system also allows the building manager to take control of their building from their PC, adjusting all aspects of the building's operations and seeing immediately the result of those adjustments. Meters can easily be connected to the controllers within the building energy management system. Doing so allows the meter data to be captured, stored, and displayed. Incorporating this meter data is very important for several reasons: for driving behavioural change amongst occupants of the building, for allowing the building manager to focus attention on particularly high energy consuming areas within a building, for justifying investment in more efficient plant and equipment, and for demonstrating to all stakeholders progress that has been made in energy reducing projects. The reports that our system is able to produce once meters have been incorporated are also very useful for helping the NHS comply with the carbon reduction commitment legislation, or CRC legislation, that is required. Trend specifically focuses on the fact that the vast majority of NHS buildings already today have a building energy management system installed, and so optimizing this system is the fastest, easiest and often the cheapest way to make energy savings, and therefore carbon savings and financial savings. We typically would start by auditing the BEMS, because we find that the system will have changed over time, and the use of the building will also have changed over time. So unless the BEMS has been scrupulously maintained by an organisation such as Trend, we'll always be able to find some adjustments we can make that will lead to quick wins, both in energy saving, money saving and carbon dioxide savings. Following our audit, we may look at installation of additional control equipment around some particularly high energy consuming areas. We would look to install or incorporate meter data if it wasn't done so already, and numerous other things that we can do to help save energy. A good example of a working implementation within the NHS is Charing Cross Hospital, which is part of the Imperial College NHS Trust. They made savings of over 5 million kilowatt hours and 2 million kilowatt hours of electricity and gas respectively by installing a Trend system and incorporating meter data from all of their major plant rooms. This data enabled them to make adjustments to the way the building was run and operated, which resulted in savings worth over £500,000 a year at today's prices, and without patients or staff even noticing that any changes had been made. Trend is ideally placed to help the NHS. We have 120 engineers nationwide available 24 hours a day. We have a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week remote monitoring centre at Horsham. And lastly, there are over 150 independent companies accredited and audited by Trend who are able to install and service Trend equipment. Together, they employ over 2,500 Trend-trained engineers, so help is never far away. Almost every significant building within the NHS estate will already have a building energy management system installed. Optimizing these existing systems are the key to achieving significant energy, carbon dioxide and financial savings. As the UK market leader in building energy management systems, Trend is ideally placed to help the NHS. We are your quick win, you just have to take control.
There isn't, as far as I'm aware, one fixed definition of what an advanced meter is, but generally speaking, what an advanced meter will do for you is it will enable you to take more regular readings of your energy consumption, be that electricity, gas or water, usually half-hourly. It will enable automatic reading of that meter so that you won't have to send someone round to read that meter, and it will also be able to store a profile of your energy use, so that rather than knowing that you've used however many kilowatt hours of electricity over the last month, you will be able to see a profile of how much energy that building has used over the last month, and you'll be able to see the times of peak demand, and you will be able to, a smart meter will then be able to output that into a software package that will enable you to analyse that pattern of energy usage and spot exceptions, spot unusually high usage, and as a result it will enable you to better manage your energy use.
Schneider Electric is the global specialist in energy management. We have 114,000 employees in 102 countries, and in 2008 we had a turnover of 18.3 billion euros. We have solutions that can help you manage your energy use on a day-to-day basis, and with the demand for energy likely to double by 2030, there's a huge task that we can help with. In addition to that, our solutions provide control of temperature, humidity, as well as security in a modern hospital. From that, we can try and secure the patient well-being so that they can recover more quickly. Over the life cycle of a hospital, the cost for running the environment, the cost of energy is very large. So it's very important that at all times, 24/7, you have an accurate idea of the amount of energy you are consuming and its quality. So metering and the electrical monitoring systems that we provide, and thereafter the 24-hour monitoring services that we can also deliver to allow energy reporting to building managers and building users is very important.
At Schneider Electric, we offer a full range of energy efficiency products and services, ranging from simple metering systems through to enterprise-wide power management systems. We also have variable speed drives, power factor correction, and a lot of other things to do with the electrical infrastructure of a building. Whether you're a supplier or a consumer, we believe that we offer the right solution to help deliver fast and quantifiable paybacks, delivered through sustainable energy savings. We also believe that metering is the first step towards a low carbon economy. This is the foundation of our life cycle approach. This approach allows us to work with the trusts, and that also allows us to tailor and partner with the trusts to create a low carbon reduction plan, which will in turn help the trust meet their long-term goals and objectives. Schneider Electric believes that the future of energy services lies with partnering with NHS trusts to provide scalable energy solutions that will help meet the trust's long-term goals and objectives. Our three current solutions are Energy Action, which has a return on investment of up to 2 years, but can realise savings of 10%. We have an Energy Edge offer that has a higher capital investment with a return on investment of 2 to 5 years, where you can expect to see savings of up to 20%. Finally, we have our strategic building solutions offer, which is the performance contracting arm of our business. Typically, this is higher capital investment with a longer term payback of up to 10 years. This model is normally financed by the client or by a third party. By guaranteeing the savings, we are able to mitigate any risk towards the client and therefore provide funding for capital improvement measures. Metering as well as monitoring and targeting are fundamental elements of all of our energy offerings. Without this, no measurement or verification is possible. At Schneider Electric, we have a central support facility that's located in Warrington. This is open 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This currently monitors the energy performance of our clients' facilities and provides additional services such as remote interrogation, remote reports, and managing of exception alarms. We have made the commitment to be your energy manager, your energy expert, and indeed your green partner.
You must be the change you wish to see in the world. This is something that Mahatma Gandhi once said, and this is very much the mindset of Schneider Electric. Our business is not just controlling buildings. We have a part to play in helping our clients with their plans for a sustainable environment. And because you can't manage what you don't measure, our solutions for monitoring energy and power quality are very important to the NHS to help manage the life cycle of the buildings, but also to ensure the well-being and security of the patients and staff that they look after. And This, we believe, is the way for a sustainable future for the NHS.
Smart meters, which display, store and transmit detailed data on energy usage between the supplier and the consumer, for example a hospital, are the central component of a dynamic, flexible smart grid which will dramatically change the way energy is produced, bought, sold and consumed. I'm Georgina Burnett and you've been watching Advanced Metering within the NHS.